Morning everyone, welcome back to Life on the Run. Pat's in the kitchen, busy in a sen, sorting some cupboards out for Tracy. She seems well, seems well, yeah, I'm glad to say. Just been and got to go outdoors and get some fluid, toilet fluid, and little gas canisters for my gas stove. So I've just been and done that, and that's all right. Yeah, I've booked next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll tell you where we're going. Yeah, next week when we set off. Pat's keen to get off again, I'm glad to say. Right, going back to the story. During that period, we tended to visit my mum and dad in Tadcaster about every 6 weeks. We'd go up and have lunch, Sunday lunch probably, with them. And we converted that stable block. I put a new roof on it myself. Well, when I say I put a new roof on it, it were pan tiles. And I took them all off, replaced some of the joists that were rotten, and all three of us, me, Pat and Tracy, washed all the pan tiles, and I felted the roof and we put the pan tiles, relatted it and put the pan tiles back on again, all washed. So it wasn't a new roof, it was the same roof, but all better done. Yeah, looked all right. And we decided to build a workshop, a custom built workshop in the garden. It had a large garden, an enclosed garden. It was really good. I'll put a photograph on here now, and you'll see us getting a piano into the new workshop. Yeah, we did get a grant towards building it, and we restored pianos in there, which was fine. When we did that, when we built the new workshop, we made the old barn, joined it up, made it part of the house. And we had a lounge. We made a lounge in there and an office. Yeah, it was really good. It enlarged the house. And at that time, Tracy went to live in Sheffield. Tracy did window display. She went to college in Sheffield to do window display. And I reckon she could have been really good at that. But she eventually left Sheffield and went to Hull and did museum and exhibition design, which I would imagine she would have been good at that as well. But in the end, she took a year out because she didn't reckon much to the course in Hull, and went as a CSV, Council for Service Volunteers, in Keighley, and went looking after people with disabilities. And she was really interested in that and still is. And she worked in that field for a long time, did Tracy. So that's what was going on with Tracy. What have I written there? Yeah, the Rodley, the shop, continued to be rented out. Eventually it became Rodley Pine, and the lady who rented it for quite a long time, and she took over the whole place, and it was quite a large shop selling pine furniture. It's gone out of fashion now, but at that time people were going mad for pine furniture, and she was doing very well. And eventually, sadly, my dad died in 1994, and when my dad were dying, he said, "Look after your mum when I'm gone." And we did. What we did was, after my dad died, Pat and I went up to my mum's every other Saturday. my brother went the other Saturday. We took it in turns. On my brother's Saturday, my mum would go over to our kids. He'd come and pick her up, take her over to his place for a day. And when it was our turn, we used to come up. And we used to go to Wetherby, and Pat and my mum used to go shopping. And I used to stand on the high street in Wetherby with a tract. I used to print 10 tracts, Christian tracts, and I never handed them out to anybody. I would never do that. I just stood there with one in my hand, and if somebody took it, they took it, and if they didn't, they didn't, and I'd stand there for an hour. And that's when I met Jeff. Jeff came up to me while I was stood there, questioning me. And he said to me, "Would you like to come for a coffee? Have you time?" So I went to his house for a coffee. And funnily enough, Jeff was like me. He believed what I believed, and he never went to church either. It was very strange. And Jeff and I, Pat and I, went up to my mum's every other Saturday for 18 years, until my mum died. And every Saturday when we went up, my mum and Pat went shopping, and I stood on the high street and then went round to Jeff's and had a coffee with him, and then met Pat and my mum at Wetherby Whaler for fish and chips. We always had fish and chips for us lunch, and then we'd go somewhere in the afternoon, different places, and we did that for 18 years. Yeah, my mum was very fit at my age, and she was very fit into her early 80s, and she could walk miles. Amazing was my mother. But in her mid to late 80s, she did deteriorate, and she couldn't walk very far, and we used to just go somewhere and sit and watch people, which I didn't mind because I like watching people, until 2013. Yeah, that was a sad day. I was tuning a piano in Grimsby, and I got a telephone call from Pat. We'd only been with my mum on the Saturday, and on the Tuesday I got a call to say that she'd died. Yeah, quite a shock. Even though my mum was 90, she had a good life. She lived till she was 90. Still a shock though. Very sad. Yeah, And at that time we used to yeah, we had, did we go off? We had an Astral Scout caravan. No electricity, just gas mantles. You remember them things? Didn't have a bathroom, but it had a little cubbyhole where we had a portaloo, you know, porta potty in it. And we used to go off on odd weekends in it when we were in Waddingham. Yeah, not that often, but we did do, yeah. And also we did look after. I had a friend called Wendy, and her friend Elsie was 96 and she fell, and she were in this nursing home being charged a small fortune, and me and Pat took her in to stay with us, and she lived with us for 6 months, but in the end she had to go into a nursing home, and she wasn't long in there before she died. Yeah, so that's just a bit more information about that time when we were in Waddingham. Okay, see you later. Bye.